What's up, college football fans? Sonoy Valente here once again with the Mean Green Show, and today we're going to talk about what seems to be Coach Dykes staying put at SMU. But before we get into all of that, you guys already know the drill. If you're a fan of college football recruiting, the G5 football world, the transfer portal, coaching carousel, conference realignment, any or all of the above, consider hitting that like and subscribe button because that is truly all that we talk about. CJ, thanks for jumping on with me right now between classes for you. And before we get into things, Sonny Dykes, where can the people find your smugness at if they want to do so?
Yeah, so actually, before I answer that, I did want to just address that I felt like the last time I wasn't as much playing the SMU character as I was just trying to give my thoughts, and I was bitter at the time. I've kind of gotten over it because what are you gonna do? But I think part of it is that you and I have a rapport, but the thing is what people see of us going back and forth is me kind of almost being like a little bit of a smartass, and that is fine for you and I because we're friendly with each other. Like they don't see the conversations we have off of air. So just before you go saying oh, he's so smug or oh, he's so elitist, that's one that I don't fully get, but that's fine. Um, just remember that it's probably because how I behave around people I'm friendly with. It's not how I behave around strangers and stuff. So I think it's just that they only see a certain portion of I guess our relationship. But anyways, you can find me on Twitter. My Twitter handles are right there at CJ Olson 2000 at FQ_SMU. I also am one of the people that run at Fifth Quarter. So you can see we talk about more than just SMU or my personal life there. So if you just want to get some college football news and notes, NBA, NFL, we talk about all kinds of stuff over there. So that's where you can find me at.
All right, all right. So, okay, so I know you and we've been texting, throughout the
Mhm.
probably about a week, just talking about all the stuff, between Gary Patterson and just coaching carousel and whatnot, and seemed like Dykes was on his way out. Obviously, nothing's done yet as far as him not being on his way out or permanently, whichever way you want to cut it. But now the tides have kind of switched on the forum boards and everything. And it's looking like Dykes is going to stay. And I was hearing nothing but Dykes was the number one candidate for TCU. But yeah, what are you hearing on your side of things as far as him staying? And do you feel better as an SMU fan, assuming he does stay?
Yeah, so I mean, I can tell you that nothing's been finalized. I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen because I don't think Dykes has made a decision yet. So anybody saying I do want to correct you a little bit in that when you say it looks like the tide's turned, I don't know necessarily that the tide has turned. I think it's just there are less question marks. I think there were some question marks in regards to not so much what the money was going to be. I think that offer has kind of always stood. I think it was more so what type of like I guess from the administration, what type of support they were going to give outside of just the money that was going to go to him and his assistants. I think it was more so the long-term vision of where the program was going to be and what we were going to do about stadium renovations and stuff like that. And I think that it was more so that originally the administration wanted to kind of take a we'll do what's best for the university, don't worry about that, to kind of a him saying no, I want in writing, I want solid, concrete, this is what we're going to do, and here's when we're going to do it by, and here's where we're going to get the money. And basically, it's Sonny Dykes wanted to make the plans, and the administration was like, it's kind of hard to make those plans. Let's put that off until later. And so I think it just comes down to the fact that they finally relented and were like, all right, fine, we'll make concrete plans for this if that's what it's going to take. And so now, I think that's cleared it up a little bit. But at the same time, if Sonny Dykes is going to go to TCU, he's going to go to TCU. I mean, they have the financial resources. They're going to be, uh, in terms of recruiting and money invested into the program, they're going to be tops in the new Big 12 for both of those metrics. So, if he wants that, then there's nothing SMU can do. I mean, basically, we're putting ourselves out there as much as we can. And if he doesn't want to stay here or he thinks TCU is a better opportunity, then he can do that. But I've been saying from the beginning that being the guy after the guy is asking to be hired to be fired. So I don't know necessarily that that's in his best interest, but only he knows what is in his best interest or what he thinks is in his best interest. So if that kind of answers your questions.
Hypothetically, if he was to leave, who would you want to see them court as far as the new head coach for SMU?
So what I would want is I would want Samples to be promoted to head coach. I mean, he's only 26 and everybody talks about he's not ready, but like when he was like 23 or so, we gave him an offer to be an on-field coach and recruiter, and nobody else would give him that opportunity. But we kind of believed in him, and they were like, I don't know if he's ready for it. He's still young. Like, this is kind of a swing. And then he was ready. And then it was, well, is he ready to be a recruiting coordinator? He's only 24. He's a good recruiter, but like, can he handle all of recruiting? And now we've landed all these 4 stars, and we have by far the best G5 class that like has happened since, you know, since a while. And so it's like, okay, so if you bet against him there, you lost again. And then it's, well, is he really ready to be an assistant head coach? Like, he's a great recruiter, but you're asking him to take on a big, he's kind of like second in command over there. Is he really ready for it? And yeah, it turns out he has been. So it's like, I'm never going to bet against Samples, because like it's almost like betting against like Floyd Mayweather. Like, you keep going, well, eventually he's going to lose. Well, no, he hasn't. So like, he hasn't been wrong yet. So like, why should I, like, it would be a stupid bet to bet on him to be wrong eventually. So I think it should be Samples. If not him, I could see them promoting Levitt almost as like we'll make it Samples in 2 to 3 years. But for now, let's let Levitt kind of be like a bridge coach, and keep Samples on, let him kind of acclimate as like head coach in waiting. But honestly, like if Dykes goes, I don't see why he wouldn't bring Samples with him. So like either like Samples is head coach or he's going with Dykes. So if you're willing to lose the future of recruiting, then if you're willing to die on that hill, then fine. Other than that, I'm not really sure who else I would want. I don't really know who else would be a good fit. I've seen Levy's name thrown out there. I've seen McGuire's name thrown out there. I've seen Elko's name thrown out there. I know that TCU is looking at Tony Elliott, Jay Norvell, Deion Sanders.
Kellen
I don't
Moore.
know necessarily how many of those would be good fits. A name that somebody on one of the forums said that I kind of like is Odom at Arkansas. I like that idea. He doesn't really have a lot of Texas connections, which I feel like you need. But yeah, I mean, really any of those guys, I think if we get somebody with like an established name at one of the big schools, which means he's been recruiting at those big schools, I think I would feel comfortable there, that we wouldn't lose all of the recruiting momentum we'd have, just most of it, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All righty, man. Well, anything else we need to touch on before we hop off here?
No, I mean, just, nice little quick episode. I don't think Dykes is going anywhere. I think so I told you the last time we talked that like, I'm not going to be worried until I see pen to paper that he's going somewhere else. That kind of changed in the last week. I mean, I texted you late last night that now it's to about 75%. And then news when I woke up this morning had broken about like him and his request and the administration's willingness kind of started to align a little bit more. So now I'm up to about 95%, but still there's part of me that like, TCU is going to make a better offer than we can in terms of just like straight money. But like, would you rather 7 years at, let's call it 4 million, or would you rather 3 years at 6 million? I don't know. You tell me what you would rather have. Cause like 5 and 7, like if 3 years from now we look and we go, the last 2 years Dykes went 5 and 7 at TCU, he's fired. 5 and 7 here. All right, let's figure out what the issue was. Maybe a switch up on coaching staff, maybe whoever's quarterback wasn't working out and we just gave him one too many seasons to figure it out. So I think that we would give him a longer leash. It's just we can't give him. TCU could float him an extra couple million. So it's just going to come down to what he wants. So that's pretty much all I've got to say about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, SMU's got to do a better job of getting this news out earlier. They're keeping CJ up in the wee hours of the night sweating if they're going to lose.
It's awful.
Coach Dykes. Absolutely. Well, it appears SMU's got Dykes. Trailer obviously staying at UTSA for now.
Can you please stop saying that it appears
I'm trying to jinx it out of here.
From over.
I want to jinx it out of here. We can jump on here and do another breaking video whenever he leaves. Okay. But anyway, and UNT, we'll see what happens there. But all right, CJ. Well, thanks so much for jumping on, and we'll talk again soon.
Yep.